Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Fontainebleau where I'm checking out Kyu for dinner. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here we are seated at Kyu. Now, this is a beautiful restaurant, a little bit darker and intimate up front with a very well-lit and open space in the back. I love this forest accent wall that they have, as well as this really cool lighting fixture, relatively loud, fun music, a great vibe in here. Now, regardless of the vibes, you know it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at the menu and see what they have to eat. All right, so here is the menu at Kyu. They're an Asian-inspired wood-fired barbecue restaurant. Very cool. We're here for the full Kyu experience. Let's take a look at what they have here. Starting with their cocktails, feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. But you have various cocktails, as well as sake bombs, crafted seltzers. This is looking really cool. We also have your wine list here, as well as beer. You've got your sparkling, your rosé, and your red. Here are some white sakes and some bubbly beers. Interesting. And that's gonna bring us to the food. This is what I'm most looking forward to. Snacks and keep it light. I believe these are the appetizers available here. We've got tuna crispy rice, shishitos, blue prawns. That sounds interesting. Wagyu tartare. You know, I typically end up ordering whatever is kind of boxed and special like that. So we'll probably end up trying that. Pork gyoza sounds really good. Yeah, a lot of really great options here. And then we have a smoke and wood-fired section. Looks like we have a stone pot Thai rice. That sounds incredible. Korean fried chicken. Oh, they have ramen here. They got king crab legs, cauliflower. It looks like for every cauliflower order, they commit to giving back 1% of yearly sales to environmental nonprofits. That's awesome. I guess I'll have to order the cauliflower and do my part. We got octopus. Oh, baby back rib, duck. This all looks amazing. And then for the table, I believe they mentioned that these are some of their bigger options down here. We have a lamb chop, dry aged tomahawk, smoked beef short rib. This looks awesome. And that's your menu here at Kyu. A lot of really interesting looking items here at Kyu. I'm so looking forward to trying as many as I can today because you know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. So we're gonna get a nice variety and together we'll see what this place is all about. Appetizers are coming up first. I'll see you in a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back, everyone. My appetizers just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. We got the tuna crispy rice as well as the avocado salad, some blue prawns, wagyu tartare, and their pork gyoza. This is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First up, we're going in on the gyoza. I believe they said this was a pork gyoza, and it comes in some kind of a broth or sauce, and it looks very, very good. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, that's good. Now this is a very good pork gyoza. This gyoza skin has such a remarkable texture. Not too gummy, it's actually been very well cooked. A perfect vessel for this gyoza here. The pork inside is so succulent, very juicy and well seasoned. Gives a lot of really satisfying flavors. You can actually taste the garlic in there. I'm really enjoying this pork. Now this is served in something like a ponzu sauce. There's a little bit of a sour tang to it, but a very nice light sweetness as well. It really helps balance against the flavors of this rich pork gyoza, and in general, it's just very tasty. We're off to a fantastic start here. That gyoza is really good. Next up, we'll go in on those blue prawns. You get 4 huge prawns here in an order. And I'll go ahead and dip it into some of their cocktail sauce here. Let's see how these are. Yeah, that's good. I'm really enjoying the texture of this prawn. It has a very plump and succulent texture. Not too chewy, they've cooked it perfectly, and it's been cleanly deveined. We got a really nice prawn here. It has a little bit of a sweet briny flavor. This is very, very enjoyable. Now the cocktail sauce here is relatively spicy. There's certainly a little bit more heat than I'm used to in your standard cocktail sauce, but it does have a little bit of an accent sweetness to it. It is very good. Now these prawns are served alongside some crackers. They look very much like saltines. So we'll see how these are as well. Yeah, you know, that's pretty good. Now, it very much does taste like a saltine cracker, but much, much more buttery. As I'm reading the description, this is actually a fried saltine, and it has a quality very much like a Ritz cracker, so rich, but a nice salinity here. And if you combine it with the sweet brininess of the shrimp, it's actually very, very good. A nice little prawn appetizer here. I'm a fan of that one. Next up, we'll try the avocado salad. Now, if you watch the channel long enough, you know I'm not really a salad person, but I'm being joined by a friend today who's much more healthy than I, so I thought we'd share a little bit more of a healthy option as well. And I've got a nice assortment on the fork here. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's good. This is a pretty enjoyable salad. First off, the avocados are very creamy, very ripe. They've got a nice rich flavor to them. You get a little bit of the natural bitterness from the sprouts and a very crispy texture coming from these fried leeks on top. Those fried leeks do provide a little bit of a nutty sweetness, but most of the flavor is actually coming from this vinaigrette. A nice amount of acid in that vinaigrette. There's a good squeeze of lemon in there, a well-seasoned salad also, and there's also just a little bit of sweet spiciness coming from ginger in here. There's also some feta cheese in the middle of the salad, providing some richness as well as salinity, and it all does go together very well. A very refreshing salad here. Not bad at all. That avocado salad is pretty good here. Okie doke, next up we're going in on the tuna crispy rice. Now this is a pretty staple dish that you find at a lot of sushi restaurants. I'm certainly a fan of it whenever I go there. Let's see how it is here at Kyu. Oh, that's really good. Now this tuna is minced ultra fine. It gives it a very smooth texture, very easy on the bite, and does impart a nice mild tuna flavor. There's a spicy mayo here. It's very rich, with just a hint of heat, but a very approachable spice. I wouldn't exactly classify this as a spicy dish. The crispy rice is fantastic. A nice, wonderful crunch to that exterior, with a good chew to the rice in the center, offering a little bit of that starchy flavor. It's all coming together very well. A little bit of additional bite coming from that green onion on top. A recipe I enjoy in most places. It's no different here. Now what does make this particularly better than a lot of other spots is that the quality of the tuna just feels so much better, but otherwise a really fine dish here at Kyu. All right, everyone, and the last dish I'm trying from the appetizer round is going to be the Wagyu tartare. Now this is a full-on production they put on for the Wagyu tartare. It's prepared for you tableside, served with custom Parker house rolls. They actually melt bone marrow in front of you. That's the butter layer and the oil layer that they're using. I'm really looking forward to this. They've added just a nice array of spices and seasonings here. And just watching them prepare this, I was salivating. You can actually smell that bone marrow as it was rendering down. And I'm not exactly sure if I saved the best for last, but I'm really excited to try this one out. And as mentioned, they are served with these Parker house rolls that are baked in-house. And so I've assembled a nice little piece here, the Wagyu tartare. Oh, that is so good. I think I love everything about this Wagyu tartare. The flavors here are incredible. Let's start with this Parker house roll. So buttery. A very nice bake to this Parker house roll. Structurally sound on the outside, but the most wonderful, airy and flaky texture on the center. A very pillowy bread. I love it. Topped with a bit of a furikage seasoning, giving a little bit of a slight nutty spiciness. It's really good. The Wagyu tartare here has so much flavor. It's incredibly rich. You can tell that bone marrow is putting in work in this recipe. The peppercorns here provide a nice aromatic spice, adding some really nice accents to this Wagyu tartare. Such a soft beef. It's so tender. Absolutely melts in your mouth. This appetizer is so good. I can see why they have it boxed in the menu. All right, everyone, now that's all of the appetizer I'm trying today. My friend and I are going to continue working on this, and then we'll get some boxes to go, and then we'll do our first round of entrees. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. And welcome back, my friends. My first round of entrees just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. We got the Korean fried chicken as well as the Kyu ramen, roasted cauliflower, their duck breast, as well as the pork belly bao buns. This is all looking so good. Let's give it a try. First up, we'll try the cauliflower. Now this arrives as an entire half head. However, they do slice it up for you tableside, served alongside some kind of a green sauce here. And as you might recall from the menu, 1% of the sale does go toward an environmental cause, which is great. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's actually good. A lot of really great aspects about this cauliflower dish. Firstly, the cauliflower has been cooked perfectly. It's been cooked through, soft enough to chew, but still firm. It has a little bit of bite to it, and you can actually see how it's been roasted on top. It provides a little bit of that smoky flavor. Now this sauce is really delicious. It's very rich, a little bit spicy, with a very nice acidic layer as well. There is some goat cheese in this recipe providing some richness, but I am now starting to put my finger on it. The spice is coming from a flavor very similar to shishito peppers. It works so well with this cauliflower. A very enjoyable dish here. I'm really impressed. I thought that was gonna be a little bit more gimmicky, but there's a lot of really good flavors here. Okie doke, next up, the Korean fried chicken. Served in some kind of an orange sauce. Looks like they give you half of a bird here. The crispy exterior already feels fantastic in my hands. The Korean fried chicken. Very tasty. Now, I'm not entirely sure I would classify this a Korean fried chicken. I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking makes it Korean. That said, there's a very nice crispy exterior to this. A beautiful crunch, very satisfying to bite into. A nice and juicy chicken meat here. They haven't over fried it. They've retained a lot of the moisture. Very good. A very nice seasoning blend here. It's very savory with a bit of a smoky kick and a hint of spice as well. Now, this sauce that it's in is something like an herb butter. It has a flavor very akin to a light curry, a pungent flavor with a little bit of sour tang. It's very good on this chicken. It all does come together very well. I am enjoying the fried chicken. This is good. Okie doke, next up, Kyu ramen. Now, I love a good ramen, and we got some nice chashu pork here. Let's see how the ramen here is at Kyu. Yeah, not bad. Now you've got a pretty decent ramen here. A nice firm noodle here is providing some good chew, and it's been able to soak up the flavors of this broth very well. I do like the noodles. The broth I think is okay. While it is relatively savory, unfortunately it does lack a bit of depth that I'm used to from a really good pork broth ramen. There's just a certain complexity and umami that's missing here. I thought the pork belly was pretty good, nice and fatty with a smoky flavor. Unfortunately though, because the broth didn't provide as much as I was looking for, all I kind of got was the flavor of smoke in that bite. It wasn't all that well balanced. You just need a little bit more punch from that broth to make it all come together. Certainly not a bad ramen though. I think it's just okay. Next up, the pork belly bao buns. Now these come deconstructed. You do have to build them yourself, which allows you to manipulate the amount of ingredients that you put inside. Hopefully I did a nice mix here. Let's give these a shot. Yes, that's tasty. I actually do really like this bao. A nice airy and fluffy texture with a relatively neutral flavor, acting as a soft, cloudy vessel for this pork belly. I like the bao quite a bit. The pork belly is fantastic. Not only is it fatty, succulent, and rich, but you have a very nice pastrami-like bark on the outside. Peppery and savory. It's actually very, very good. Lots of flavor there, which is accented by a little bit of the sourness from the pickles, as well as the natural sweetness coming from these carrots. A mustard seed, celery, and onion relish here provides a little bit of an additional pepperiness, and a creamy mustard sauce here brings it all together. I must say I'm a fan. I really like the pork belly baos. All right, everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this first round of entrees is gonna be the duck breast. Now this is a burnt end duck, cooked to a nice medium rare, served in some kind of a very dark sauce. This is the duck breast. Oh, that's very tasty. A very nice duck breast here. Super fatty. You know duck is a very rich meat. Has a very succulent nature here. It's very good. A bit of a smoky seasoning blend on the outside provides additional flavor, but it's not overpowering. You really get to enjoy the essence of the flavor of duck in this dish. I have a very nice dark sauce here. I believe it's something like a smoked soy sauce. There's a lot of umami with a bit of a smoky flavor, good salinity. It complements the duck breast very well. A very flavorful dish here. I like the duck quite a bit. All right, everyone, now that's all the food I'm trying from my first round of entrees. My friend and I are going to continue working on this, box it all up to go, and then we'll go on our second round. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, my friends. My last round of entrees just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. We got the lamb chop as well as the beef short rib, their corn ribs, and their Japanese sweet potato. This is looking incredible. Let's go in. We're gonna be kicking things off with the short rib this round. A beautiful looking beef short rib here, served alongside 3 sauces, but I want to try it straight up first. Let's see how it is. Oh, that's very good. A wonderfully prepared beef rib here. The meat is so incredibly tender, so soft, really fun to eat. It's incredibly juicy and great flavors. I love this beef. A nice smoky bark on the outside is generated, providing a great flavor. And just the perfect amount of fat here provides a nice robust nature to this beef. A really great short rib here. Now the short rib is served alongside 3 different sauces. I went ahead and tried them all, and you have something like a very dark soy, thick umami teriyaki sauce here. You also have a super spicy acidic sauce as well, and then something very akin to a Chinese barbecue sauce. All of them are very good, although I do think the spicy sauce has a lot of heat. You're gonna wanna be aware of that. And I think my favorite is actually the one closest to the teriyaki. All of them do provide some very nice accent flavors to the short rib. This is actually a very nice short rib dish. Okie doke, next up we're going in on the Japanese sweet potato. This looks incredibly rich, lots of butter here, and a little toasty looking exterior. The Japanese sweet potato. Yes, that's tasty. A very well-cooked Japanese sweet potato here. Incredibly soft, very palatable, a nice cook to this potato. You do absolutely get the natural sweetness here, but it is a little bit more starchy than I was expecting. I think I was expecting a much more sweet flavor. There is a nice sweetness coming from a candied layer on top, a bit of a caramelized sweetness given that it's been torched, and there is a lot of butter in this recipe, so much richness in this. In fact, I do think it might be a little borderline too rich. I wouldn't mind if they pulled that back just a bit. But some very nice flavors with this Japanese sweet potato. This is a good one. Next up, we're going in on the lamb chops. Now these lamb chops are served with some kind of a rice paper, as well as a hoisin sauce and some pickled garlic. And I've assembled a nice little pancake sandwich here. Here's the lamb. Okay, that's delicious. This is a fantastic recipe. This Chinese rice pancake, it's not offering a ton of flavor. It's paper thin, but it is holding together this little pancake sandwich well, and so it's doing its job. A nice umami-filled sweetness coming from the hoisin sauce here, and a wonderful floral note coming from this pickled garlic. You get a little bit of bite from the scallion here, and all of those supporting flavors are great. The star of the show is the lamb here, folks. It's actually really good. Now, people often mistake lamb as gamey. However, it's actually got a fair amount of fat content. However, because the fat in lambs are different from cows and chicken, it's what gives lambs a little bit more of that unique flavor. Very pungent in nature. It could be off-putting to some, especially if they're not ready for it. However, the preparation here is phenomenal. They've been able to cook out so much of that pungent flavor, and a very savory spice blend provides a neutralizing element as well. The lamb meat is so tender and so juicy. Incredibly satisfying to eat. A beautiful crust on the outside with a nice peppery flavor. All of this is coming together so well. I really like this dish, you guys. This might be some of the best lamb I've had in a really long time. All right, everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this last round of entrees is gonna be the corn rib. Got a nice big chunk of that corn here. Let's give this a taste. Yeah, it's good. It's a pretty good corn dish. Firstly, the corn is well cooked, nice and soft. It's easy to chew off the cob rib here. A nice cook to the corn. The natural sweetness of this corn is absolutely coming through, and it's enhanced with a bit of an acidic nature here. Maybe some lime. Actually, I think it might be yuzu. The more I'm tasting this, I do believe there's some form of a yuzu element on this. There's a nice smoky flavor to this corn as well. There are also some blackened onions on here, providing a caramelized sweetness, though a little bit more nutty and smoky in flavor. It's sweet, a little sour, with a touch of smokiness, and all in all, relatively enjoyable. A good corn side here. All right, everyone, now that's gonna do it for all of the food today. I am so full. I think just a few more bites and we're gonna box this all up to go, and then we'll do some dessert next. Don't go anywhere, because sweets are coming up. And welcome back, my friends. It's time for some sweets, and to cap off this meal, let's take a look at the dessert menu. Okie dokie, so here is your dessert menu at Kyu. Let's take a look. We have some dessert wines and coffees here. Some dessert sake as well. And then here are your sweets. Got a coconut cake. Looks like a watermelon shaved ice. Ice cream trio. Yeah, this is all looking really good. And that's your dessert menu at Kyu. Some good looking desserts here at Kyu. I'm gonna go get my order in, but for all of you at home, I'm gonna make it up here right now. And here it is, everyone. This is the peach milfui. an absolutely beautiful dessert. You could think of a mille-feuille as a French dessert. It's made of a puff pastry and pastry cream. And apparently the name translates to 1,000 sheets. And I've got a nice spoonful here, the peach mille-feuille. Oh, that is really good. An incredible melody of flavors. You get waves and waves of different tastes. It's so good. You get the natural sweetness of the peaches initially. That natural sweetness of the peaches then gives way to a very vibrant and in-your-face sweetness coming from this white chocolate. The white chocolate acts as the pastry cream layer here on this mille-feuille, and it is sinfully sweet and really good. Something like a strawberry jam compote here is providing an additional layer, and there's a berry sorbet on top providing a little bit of a tart sweetness as well. It's sweet and refreshing and very fun to eat. This is a really good dessert. I like it a lot. All right, everyone, now that's gonna do it for my dinner here at the Kyu at the Fontainebleau Las Vegas. My dinner came out to $665 today before tip, and I very much enjoyed my meal. Hands down, my favorite appetizer of the day was the Wagyu tartare. I thought that was incredible. Introducing that bone marrow as the oil and fat element was so good. I really liked the duck breast here, but it was the lamb dish that stole the show for me tonight, which is typically not very common because I'm not a huge fan of lamb. The preparation was fantastic. All of the flavors worked so well together. I enjoyed it very much. And this is our server, Mitchell. He was fantastic today, very attentive, very friendly. Make sure you come back and make sure you come here and see him if you're here at Kyu. There are a lot of really great upscale restaurants here at the Fontainebleau, and if you're coming to Kyu, this is what you can expect here. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this Saturday video where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown. Coming this Tuesday, I'm going to be returning to a much more local spot here in the Valley. Make sure you come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.